Welcome back. This is AM News. In our very first story, 2 people have been confirmed dead after a clash over a family land dispute at Dondoli in the Wa municipality. Police have arrested 2 suspects to assist investigations. Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
According to the Upper West Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP Francis Yuribare, took place late Tuesday evening involving persons from same family who claims ownership to parcel of family land, resulting in the clash that claimed 2 lives and injured 1 person.
That there was a clash of a family over a piece of land. We immediately deployed our QRT, quick response team. And it was there on their arrival we discovered that the clash had gone too far, resulting in the death of 1 person right on the spot. 1 that we met on the scene was also unconscious and was immediately rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately he also passed on. The general public has been very cooperative since we started it. We cordoned off the place. We have processed the crime scene management team, covered and processed every particle that mattered in the issue.
DCOP Francis Yuribere revealed that 2 persons have so far been arrested by the police to help in their investigation. He, however, assured residents of preventing further clash as they have beefed up security presence in the area.
And so far, 1 person is on admission but under police guard as a suspect under arrest. We have 1 other individual who was also arrested the later part of the dawn of this morning, and he's also on detention, in detention at the police cells. We are leaving no stone unturned in getting to the bottom of it and ensuring that justice takes its own course. But we also want to encourage the family to continue to revert to the police for every other issue surrounding this land, or to the law courts for a very peaceful resolution of the matter.
Joining the Upper West Regional Police Commander at the crime scene was the Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pilipu, who doubles as a West Central Member of Parliament. Dr. Rashid Hassan Pilipu commended personnel of the Ghana Police Service for their quick intervention, which calmed down the situation. He however urged them to up the ante in their investigation to get to the bottom of the matter.
It's a very painful thing, and I know they are in grief now, and we can only ask Allah to forgive those who have died, and also pray for those who are wounded, and pray that the conflicts will be resolved so that we don't see this anymore. In Wa, there are conflicts just like any other place. But the good thing about Wa is that scarcely do people take arms to fight. Very scarcely. They quarrel, they fight, but it doesn't go to the point when they kill each other. So this is a very serious incident, and whilst paying my condolences to the family, I will urge them to sit and talk, not to go out and fight. It's important for all of us. Dondoli is a place we all respect. They are made up of our imams, and leaders of Islam must be the last to use arms against each other. So I urge them to speak to each other and not to fight. It's important for all of us, whilst the police does the investigation.
Also worried about the deadly incident is the overlord of the Wala State, Naf Hussein Sidi Pilipu IV, who sent a delegation to the crime scene. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam.
Well, Member of Parliament for Lambisi, Professor Titus Kofi Bayo, is admonishing ethnic groups in the area to coexist peacefully, stressing that harmony is key to attracting investment and driving development. He warns that ethnic tensions drive away critical manpower, including civil servants needed for progress. Speaking at the...
Looking to level up your life and business game? Welcome to the #1 podcast for business and self-development, Connected Minds Podcast.
to complete the stalled Agenda 111 hospital project and other delayed developments affecting residents. But as 2025 drew its final breath, churches across the country became spaces of reflection, gratitude, and hope. Christians gathered not merely to mark the passing of a year, but to give thanks for the journey so far and to commit the future into God's hands. From quiet moments of prayer to jubilant praise and bold declarations for 2026, worshippers crossed into the new year anchored in faith. There's more in the following report.
In the final moments of 2025, Christians converged in churches, lifting up prayers of thanksgiving and reflection for the year gone by. As the clock edged closer to midnight, sanctuaries echoed with praises, repentance, and prophetic declarations, each sound carrying hope into the new year.
Again, God forbid, again, God forbid, again, God forbid, again, God forbid.
With renewed faith and expectation, congregants crossed into 2026, trusting God for direction, restoration, and breakthrough. At the House of Miracle Ministries, head pastor, Prophet Samson Amwateng, led the congregation into the new year with a candlelight declaration.
May God put fire on your candle. Amen. Psalm 18 verse 28. Thou will light my candle. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness.
He unveiled the theme for the year, divine speed and testimonies.
So what cancels delay is speed. I prophesy. May God give you the blessing of speed. Amen. Shout divine speed. Divine speed. So 2026. Receive divine speed. Amen. Receive speed. I receive. Receive speed. I receive.
For members of the Trinity Baptist Church, their focus and spiritual direction is on divine presence. Head pastor Reverend Kingsley PJ explains.
Is that the presence of the Lord will go with us. Hand of the Lord will be strong over our nation. That the hand of the Lord will be strong over the people of Ghana. That in 2026 we will break boundaries.
At the Agape House New Testament Church, Reverend Whitcomb reminded worshippers of God's promises.
No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what happened in 2025, no matter if you failed, God has a destiny for you in 2026. For that is the promise of God's word.
For many worshippers, the crossover service was both a moment of closure and fresh beginning. Some congregants shared their hopes, prayers, and expectations for 2026 with Joy News.
2026, if God himself will show himself faithfully.
My 2026 expectations, I'll just let God do his thing in my life.
I want to have a good year and achieve all my goals, dreams, and aspirations.
I'm expecting God to elevate me. I'm expecting great success in every sphere of my life.
From heartfelt prayers to joyful celebrations, crossover services across the capital reinforced a shared belief that with faith, unity, and purpose, every new year carries a promise of renewed possibilities. Rodalina Benson's report, read to you.
A way to usher in the new year. Let's bring back our earlier story where Member of Parliament for Lambisi, Professor Titus Kofi Bayo, is admonishing ethnic groups in the area to coexist peacefully, stressing that harmony is key to attracting investment and driving development. He spoke at the 25th Mefeli Festival in Lambisi.
Belegbero Festival, celebrated by the chiefs and people of the Lambuse traditional area, like many festivals in the northern Gulf of the country, is an agricultural festival. It is the 25th edition and brought together people from all walks of life, including paramount, divisional and sub-chiefs, Queen Mothers, Ohalo Koro, and some prominent citizens from the area. The festival was held on the theme, promoting of peace and unity among our varied cultures for tourism and economic development. Paramount Chief of the Lamuse Twalzna area, Koro Isaka Zengekazie Tangier II, commended the government for initiating several projects aimed at improving the economic well-being of the people. Notable among them is the rehabilitation of the Bubeda Dam. He posited that the project's intervention has left a lasting impression on the people and stands as a clear demonstration of leadership. The Lamuse Koro, in a speech read on his behalf by his personal aide, Kazie Amuna, however penciled some developmental challenges he will want the government to help address.
Under the Agenda 111 program, construction of an ultramodern hospital commenced about 3 years ago and had reached over 70% completion before work was halted. We respectfully appeal to His Excellency the President to consider completing this vital facility. The investment is substantial and prolonged abandonment risks deterioration and loss of value due to weather and other environmental factors.
Lamuse Member of Parliament, Professor Titus Kofi Beyu, on his part, appealed to the people to coexist peacefully, devoid of any violence, stating that it is the surest way of promoting development.
Where ethnic tensions exist, we drive away civil servants and the critical manpower needed to promote development. Our traditional authorities have demonstrated their desire to maintain the peace of the land and the harmonious coexistence of all citizens. And we, the political actors, have given them our full support in this regard.
Professor Titus Beyu used the opportunity to account for his stewardship to the people almost a year after taking over office.
The Lambuse Community Library project is now complete and handed over to the Ghana Education Service with 15 laptops and accessories, and the building is properly secured now. A contract for the construction of 2 dormitory blocks, boys and girls, and a 2,000 sitting capacity dining hall for the Lambuse Senior High School has been awarded, and the contractor has mobilized to site and ground preparations are ongoing. We have also renovated the Kani Primary School block with the help of Get Fund, re-roofed our only Lambuse Senior High School after the rainstorm destroyed part of the roofing. I invested about 100,000 to support the tuition of about 50 students from our constituency in various tertiary educational institutions.
The Lamuse legislature reiterated earlier appeals made by the Lamuse Koro and other speakers to help fix major challenges of the district.
And I want to plead again on behalf of the people of Lambuse that this needs urgent attention. 1, the completion of our Agenda 111 facility. 2, the completion of the Brutu Lambuse Kango Suke Road. 3, the conversion of Lambuse Day Senior High School to a boarding school. A fire tender for the Hamley station. A speedy completion of the Hamley Fairmore Big Push Road. And finally, electrification projects in some of our communities still living without electricity in this modern day.
Reporting for News, Rafik Salam, Lambuse.
And moving on to other stories, let's go to the Bono East region because government has inaugurated a new passport application center in Techiman to make passport services easier and closer to residents. The facility will end long and costly travel for applicants. Our regional correspondent Anna Savit has more.
Newly commissioned passport application center here in Techiman, a building that symbolizes a major shift in how government services are delivered. Just hours ago, this place was buzzing with celebration as the Deputy Foreign Minister James Chechi-Kwesin cut the ribbon, marking the end of a long wait for thousands in this region who travel several kilometers to Sunyani, Kumasi or Tamale to acquire their passports.
For many years, residents of Bono East were compelled to travel long distances to access passport services. This situation undoubtedly imposed financial burdens, disrupted economic activities, and in some instances discouraged legitimate international travel for trade, education, and professional advancement, among others. The establishment of this passport application center is a direct response to those challenges.
The minister didn't just speak, he demonstrated. 8 applicants became the first to receive their passports right here, skipping the old burdensome travel. And it's inside here where the real difference will be felt. This modern facility is designed for a smoother, digital-friendly application process. Bono East Regional Minister Francis Osuantri noted that this is a direct fulfillment of the President's vision.
This facility is a testament to the President's commitment to bringing services closer to the people of the good people of Bono East region. The President Mama's-led administration focused on infrastructure development and ease of access to essential services is truly making a difference.
Honorable Deputy Minister, on behalf of the good people of the East region, I say we are proud to see this project come live, creating opportunity for the people and enhancing our regional connectivity.
The significance wasn't lost on traditional and community leaders who highlighted the economic and social impact. Nana Boache Amiao Pentemprem II is the Nifahine of the Techiman Traditional Council.
I say we thank all of you to be here today and to help commission this project.
The mood here is one of gratitude. For students, traders and families in Bono East and neighboring areas, a major logistical and financial hurdle has just been removed.
It will lessen our plight, our traveling distance, what have you, and it will also create more enormous comfort for the residents of Techiman and the Bono East as a whole. In fact, I'm very much overwhelmed and excited for getting passport office here because it has been brought here. The accessibility will be easier for the youth and those who want to get access to this passport.
Anna Sabit, Joy News, Techiman.
Kumasi wakes up early, cars move, markets open, life begins, but behind the noise is something more dangerous. Dirty air from vehicles releasing harmful fumes straight into the city. At Swami Magazine, Ghana's largest auto repair hub, the problem is known. Mark Opoku is an exhaust welder who has worked here for over 10 years. He says drivers regularly ask him to remove their catalytic converters.
We do not intentionally remove the converter. When it expires, it breaks down and chokes the engine. When this happens and you start the engine, water does not come out from the back, and when you are driving, the car does not move. That is why we remove it. When the converter has not expired, but the car consumes a lot of oil, the oil cannot pass through it. Instead, it remains inside because the holes it is supposed to pass through are very small. The converter is designed for only vapor and smoke to pass through it. The oil passes through the same road, it blocks the passage, causing the car not to pull. We are supposed to replace the converter after removing it, but because of the high cost, we often leave it out.
Mark says most vehicles that came with converters no longer have them.
Cars bear 100 diginaho a converter a bomua I say bear 20 per any.
If we pick 100 cars to check whether they have converters installed, we find fewer than 20 cars with converters. Most cars in Kumasi do not have converters installed, especially taxis. If you check 100 taxis, you will find only about 5 that have converters. Even among those 5, they are usually newer models 2025. It is alleged that Nigerians buy converters, hence many drivers sell them even when they are not faulty.
A catalytic converter is a small device fixed to a vehicle's exhaust pipe. It cleans dangerous gases before they enter the air. Without it, toxic smoke goes directly into homes, markets, and schools. Experts say many drivers are misinformed. When old engines burn too much fuel, they block the converter. Instead of fixing the engine, some mechanics remove the converter completely. Some converters are removed not by choice but by theft. Dr. Godwin Kafwe Aito is a senior automobile engineering lecturer at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi.
The catalytic converter contains platinum, palladium, and rhodium. And platinum and palladium, sometimes they are priced even higher than gold on the market. So they are for economic reasons. So if you have a catalytic converter, you sell it, you can make a lot of money in the scrap business. But I must say that this issue is not just about Ghana or Africa or developing countries. Every year, close to 3,000 catalytic converters are stolen in America alone. So it's not just about us. So it's a worldwide problem.
The United Nations report shows millions of used vehicles shipped to Africa arrive with missing or damaged converters.
I know is that there was a research done by UNEP where they checked the catalytic converters of vehicles coming into some African states, including Ghana, and they noticed about 40% of them were without catalytic converters, yes. So maybe that could be a number. But you know, in Ghana, most people, we don't do exhaust emission tests for roadworthy. Yeah, we don't do that. So if you don't have a catalytic converter, they don't really feel it's really needed, even though it can affect your fuel consumption.
Doctors say the missing converters are making people sick. The biggest cost is paid by ordinary people. According to the World Health Organization, air pollution is killing an estimated 32,000 Ghanaians every year. Transport pollution is the biggest source. Dr. Sandra Kwating Owusu is a pulmonologist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology School of Medicine.
We are seeing more of a higher burden of generally more respiratory conditions, specifically asthma and chronic obstructive airway diseases worldwide, and most major cities in Africa are also very much affected, including our major cities in Ghana as well.
At the Kumasi Central Market, traders brief vehicle fumes from morning to night. Celinda Adai sells second-hand clothes at the market.
We have had that cars emitting smoke from the exhaust are dangerous and can cause cancer. We cover our noses or move away from where we are selling when we see them approaching. When we move away, we lose our customers. We do not need such cars here, and we are appealing to the government for assistance.
Ophelia Sari is another trader.
I've heard and seen that smoke coming from cars can cause cancer. I've even witnessed someone develop cancer because of smoke emitted from a car. I recently went to the hospital for a medical checkup, and I was told that I am not sick. We don't have the money to rent a storeroom, so we'll continue selling here. While selling here, we inevitably inhale the smoke.
Children are also exposed. Dr. Edmond Yamba is a climate scientist at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
In our recent publication, we had local census that were deployed across about 14 schools across Kumasi, and then we were able to gather data all the way from 2022 all the way to 2024. What we realized is that most of these schools, the air quality in those areas were not good. In fact, they were all above the threshold that we need to have. And you could see that the situation was kind of like worse in areas where schools that were closer to city centers or centralized busy centers or across the roads.
Musa Abubakar is a resident in Kumasi.
A Pefender V6.
I bought a Pathfinder V6. I noticed a noise while using the car and also realized that it consumed a lot of fuel. When I checked, I found that the converter had been removed. It caused smoke to come out from behind and pollute the environment. I had spent all my money on fuel because I was constantly refilling the car. Later, I checked online and realized that I needed to replace the converter. When I bought and installed the converter, the noise and the smoke stopped. The fuel that previously only lasted from home to the office now lasts up to 2 days.
Ghana's Environmental Protection Authority says new laws require vehicles to pass emission tests. A missing engine part may look small, but it is poisoning Ghana's air, harming citizens' health and shortening lives. Experts say the solution is simple. Fix the engine, keep the converter, and protect the air citizens breathe. This story was a collaboration with New Narratives as part of the Clean Air Reporting Project. Funding was provided by the Clean Air Fund. The funder had no say in the story. A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
Happy New Year to you. Oh my goodness. 2026 came just like some fire, some wave. But thank you so much for staying with us all through last year. And this year promises to even be better right here on Joy News. I'm MFA Akosia Adeti, and thank you for spending your new year with us, 1st January 2026. But it's just okay that we take stock as well. And joining us this morning for News Review is Professor Lord Mensah, Head of Service, Local Government Services, and Dr. Kwame Asante, Political Scientist and Head European Studies at the University of Ghana, and Richard Kumado. He is security analyst. We're asking security consultants. We're asking the question, is Ghana going on a clean sheet as well? But it would be nice to ask my panelists if they as well are starting 2026 on a clean sheet, or they're carrying some things from 2025 to 2026. Professor, doctor, and security consultant, thank you for joining us, and a happy new year. Dr. Asante, how have you been? It's been a good year with you and I here on the show throughout 2025. But tell me, how has your 2025 been, and what are you looking forward to for 2026?
It's been a challenging one, and you need to double your efforts in order to bring your head above water. On the academic front, there are lots that we are doing, and it requires a lot of efforts. If you look at the political space, a lot have gone on, and it's my hope and prayer that we will see an improvement over the past year's work. But for now, I believe that the journey has just begun.
Dr. Asante, you sound a little busy this morning. Are you well?
I'm not well, but it's for God and country. We need to also help our viewers and readers. And so we are soldiering on. Yes, we are soldiering on.
I wish you a speedy recovery. Professor Lord Mensah, how have you been? 2025 good for you?
Yeah, 2025, good signal on the grounds that we're heading towards a good direction as far as the Ghanaian economy is concerned. But then we shouldn't overenjoy because we're now picking the scraps that we had from previous years. And so it's been a good thing. The good foundation has been laid. And I think going into 2026, if we build on that foundation, it should be able to help the country get in a good direction. So I would say that, yes, indeed, it's been a challenging year. At my personal level, I took a new job, which has, completely taken me from my academic environment and now managing, over 34,000 workforce across the country. On that score, it's been a challenge at that personal level. But trust me, taking into consideration the economy, I believe that we've laid a good foundation, and building on it, going into 2026, should be able to, take us to a different level as a country. Thank you.
When I come back to you, I'd like to understand exactly what the local government service mandate really is, just to situate the conversation. But Mr. Richard, I hope you're well. 2025 was quite eventful security-wise. We heard a lot from you, your analysis, your consultations and all. But you personally, was it a good year for you?
Definitely, yes. I made a lot of travels across the country in terms of security risk assessment and in making sure that national sovereignty is preserved at all times. We have been busy, particularly November, December. And I can say that as of yesterday, when I go home, middle of the night, the sleep has been clean, and we are hoping that 2026 will not bring us the same challenges we faced in 2025. But overall, 2025 has been good in terms of security intelligence and the work we've all put in together to make sure that Ghana is a stable place for everybody to come.
Well done. All set for a conversation on the clean sheet, asking the question, Dr. Sasanti, I'll come to you. So do you think that for 2026, government will be starting on a clean sheet?
Government has no choice than to start on a clean sheet. It has begun well, and we want the government to take the conversation a notch further. So we expect a lot. The economy must continue to be stable and improve from time to time. We want to see improvement in areas of employment. There are a large army of youth who have finished school without jobs. What is the government doing about that? We want to see improvement in that area. We also want to see the fight against galamsey. Government cannot renege on its promise to fight galamsey head on. Because I can tell you without fear of contradiction that if the government doesn't fix that problem, it is one of the things that can send the government to opposition. I can assure them. Because if you look at West Central region now, Winneba and its environs, people are buying a gallon of water for 5 cedis and the rest of them. This is no good news because water is life and people need it at all times. The zeal, the passion with which government started to deal with it, it appears to me that it's dying down. Because if you listen to the news in recent time, they are talking about the fact that government have failed to prosecute people who have crossed the line relative to the galamsey and all that. If that is anything to go by, then I expect government to step up its game and all that. So we expect a lot from government in this direction. Look at turbidity levels of water and contaminations that we have in terms of the food we consume and we export. Remember the statement from the European Union about the things we export and the implications of galamsey on them. I believe that the government must set up and begin to work and work well.
I stay with you. Every new government nearly will promise a reset, if not directly like the NDC has said. Their yearly agenda would purport to want to say that they're resetting the country, they're realigning the country's economy or whatever they like to describe it. What usually goes wrong beyond the rhetoric? Usually.
What we have seen is that the things they promise, they've been able to manage some to some level, right? Rhetorics are part of the political communication within the political space. So for me, as a political scientist, I have no doubt in my mind that at a point in time, the rhetorics will go on, and even lies and deception and manipulation will come. But in politics, the reality is that whatever you sow, you reap. And it is an unvarnished truth that will stare at your face when the time for reckoning comes. So I want them to look into their manifesto and then see how they approach these things carefully. Because take it or leave it, Mahama is going to leave the scene after the tenure. You are going to bring another person in there. He has to leverage on the good work of the regime so as to make progress. But if you have nothing to show, then I'm afraid you are not going to convince anybody to give you mandate. Okay. Remember, opposition eyes are widely open and we are looking for opportunity to grab power. And that is something that is expected of them. So we want them to be able to deliver as promised in the manifesto. Let us see real change in our lives so that we can, when the time for accountability comes, they will be able to present something to us.
Prof, coming to you, first of all, situate the mandate of your mandate particularly, situate it for us.
Yeah, clearly the local government service mandate is to secure effective administration and management of the local governance system in the country. If I talk about local governance system, I'm looking at the various regional coordinating councils, looking at the my office, which is the office of the head of local government service, and then also looking at all the 261 district assemblies, the workers, over there, the ones that I don't post or I don't recruit is the MMDCs and then the finance officers at the various assemblies. So clearly, it is a job that is concentrated on human resource management.
Well, so for a clean sheet, would you say that the local government level is ready for a clean sheet, or it's quite genuinely saddled with inefficiencies that exist?
Well, when you talk about efficiency, you need to look at the inputs and the outputs. Obviously, if you don't put in something and expect an output, you can't measure, efficiency. So I can clearly, say that yes, indeed, when it comes to, manpower, in terms of professionals on the ground, looking at, for instance, administrative staff, all the way down to, cleaners, I can say that with the manpower, we have them, and then the resources that is required. Of course, once it's part of the local government system, the Act requires us to draw on the consolidated fund. And so every year we have our budget that we leverage on to do our activities as far as the local government service is concerned. Once we get the necessary input, obviously I can tell you that the output will come and we can easily measure efficiency. We shouldn't just...
Currently, what's the greatest challenge in that sector? What's the greatest challenge?
Well, the greatest challenge is systems in place to manage, operations. As far as the HR management is concerned, that is my area.
Okay, is it just a regular challenge? Is it a challenge you envisaged, or
it's a challenge? It's a challenge, but then we can easily solve that. Okay. As far as getting the necessary investment in the right direction is concerned, we need systems in place to ensure that we can capture our workforce whilst they're coming on board, and then whilst they are in service, we can manage them as far as their postings, their transfers, and then their trainings every now and then is concerned. And then we manage them until they go on retirement. So that is clearly on the local government service.
Okay. The human resource part, is such a huge contributor to the development of our country. Which one of this is the most difficult one, or which one shall I say is at which level? Say the local government human resource development, or generally the human resource development. Is it at the national level, or it is at the local level mainly? Where shall I find it? Where will I situate it?
Right. So in the local government, when you are coming in, you may come in with HND or come in with a first degree, which at the national level, certain levels of education has been given. But when you come on board, because things change every now and then, because our systems change every now and then, you need to upgrade. You need to get training every now and then. And those trainings are provided. In fact, per our human resource management, manual, every staff is supposed to have about 40 hours of training in the year. And so we're trying to design a framework, which is part of the, we have it already, but it needs to be updated because the workforce and the job classes have increased, since the last, human resource capacity framework was done. And so going forward, I'm looking at updating it. And if I get more investment, I will systemize that with my team, and then we should be able to handle most of the problems that comes as far as the HR management in the local government service is concerned.
I will move to security. When I come back to you, I hear you talk about investments. I think you've said it about 2 times or 3 times. Is it that government must make resources available, or is your duty now to look for resources externally to be able to put the training, these 40 hours training for personnel or human resources, and for the manual as well? 40 hours, does the manual say that it should be at a particular period, or you can spread the 40 hours across in a year? When I come to you, that will be the answer I'm looking for. But I'll now move to security. Richard, the year ended quite on a high note with that peace negotiation led by the Asantehene, and it's just right that we start the conversation from that. How did that come to you? Do you think that it has genuinely taken our security level to a very good point?
Definitely. Security management is a continuous process. And to the extent that Boko had its own major challenges in terms of public safety breaches and security lapses that has led to many lives being lost. When the mediation report was announced, I was very happy with that. Then we also had all the responses from the 2 parties and government, which means that from what Asantehene said, that he will lead the reconciliation, all the issues raised in the reports, including what government said, will all be tabled at the reconciliation table. And that is a good thing to do. We had other challenges at encounter, but then it was resolved. I think 2025, if you look at the combined effort of the CID block and the IGP block, together with the work the BNI has put in, and the collective effort of all our security agencies, being it as Boko or any other part in this country, I think they have been very swift, and I'm hoping and praying that going into 2026, they will keep the same momentum. And where there are challenges, we will be able to rise to the occasion, and security officers should be willing to put themselves more on the line for the citizens of Ghana.
That's we faced in Boko and its environs. Was the major security challenge we faced in 2025?
Not really. There were other challenges. When you look at the core mandate of the security agencies, one of the key ones is to maintain law and order. And even to 31st December, you saw many of the arrests being done, particularly those ones that were led by the Cybersecurity Authority.
Yeah.
Those are major issues that has international ranking, permutations and implications on our country. And yet they put themselves on the line and they move forward in making those arrests. Boko is a peculiar area. Boko is a peculiar challenge, and they have kept their eyes on the ball for all this while. After the mediation report was announced, the dynamics changed, because government moved swiftly to implement the only recommendation the mediation report prescribed. And that settles many of the public safety challenges the security agencies were facing at Boko. But across the country, there were issues of crime, there were issues of breaches, there were issues of international issues that were creating problems for us in the area of money laundering, cyber crime tendencies, and many other fraud issues that came. Overall, the combined effort of our law enforcement officers putting themselves on the line, particularly what the CID boss and the IGP block together with the BNI has done, I would say it's a yeoman's job, and in 2026, we will encourage them to continue in that regard.
I'd go to Dr. Asah-Asante. When I come back to you, I'd take a few rankings or ratings on the performance of institutions such as the military, particularly, the police, and the fire service. Of course, there's the customs, immigration, and all. But my focus really is on these three sectors, and I want to hear your genuine assessments of them, where they lacked some, what you think they lacked and what they did right. But Dr. Asah-Asante, I recall that in 2025, 1st January, just like this one, well, we were preparing to swear in a new president. And so most of the rhetoric or most of the conversations led by political scientists such as you would be that people should be measured in their expectations of a new government. It's the year after. And when I describe this government as new government, it's a bit tough for me because I think a year has come by so quickly. This year, today, would it be right to still tell me to be measured in my expectations of the new government?
The honeymoon period is over.
At what point do you think it was over? Was it the entire 2025, the first quarter?
1 year, whatever preparation that needed to be put in place should have been done. So we are not coming back to issue of little time. No, because remember, you have effectively to govern within 2 years. The third, the fourth year is actually campaign and the rest of them. So if the government is not able to do anything within this year, then they've lost it. Yes. So the time is now. They have to hit the ground running and then begin to work effectively. Our expectation will continue to be high, given the mandate we give them that represented the votes that the president got, in addition to the chemistry in parliament, the kind of numbers in there. So once we've given them that, both in the executive, in the legislature, we expect nothing but high performance. Otherwise, next time when we get opportunity, we know how to give power.
Okay. The executive, the legislature, and then the judiciary. Let's start. I think you have said quite a bit about the executive. Let's go to the legislature. Parliaments sometimes gave me personal palpitations because 1 minute it looks very assertive. The next minute there's a bit of chaos and tension. One would have thought that this is what you'd see in the supposed hung parliament that we had. And then the new parliament that we had as well mimicked the hung parliament that we had. What do you think went wrong? I was surprised because for one party that has what Evans Spencer would describe as an ultra majority in parliament, and then as well another party that is quite a small minority in parliament. Imagine a minority being described as small again. That's how small it is in parliament. What was really necessitating that kind of tension and chaos that we're seeing in the legislature?
Obviously, since the Fourth Republic, if you have followed the trajectory of parliamentary business, you will come to the conclusion that we have had, the ups and downs. The waves have never been stable, ups and downs, and it's part of parliamentary work. But we have seen it in recent times, more, aggressive approaches to issues and all that because of what are at stake, things that are at stake. For if you look at this parliament as we have it, you realize that from the word go, parliament began with a weak parliament. Weak parliament in the sense that you need, much as you need majority in parliament, you also need a very strong opposition in terms of their numbers and all that, so that the majority will not always take us for a right. But they began with a very weak type of opposition because of their numbers. But that said, you can also attest to the fact that in spite of their small numbers in parliament, that is the minority, they have been very vociferous in terms of their criticisms, in terms of taking government on, and these are some of the things that sometimes it had brought about the boomerang effect. But I believe that in all the things, we have seen major things that they've done. If you look at what went into the parliament in terms of what the vetting of ministers, yes, we saw, a lot of effort in there to vet people, to get the kind of quality that we need to run the administration of the state. It is true that in the course of that, we had some excesses and some unnecessary questions and all those. But those are some of the things we can accommodate. And going forward, we know we can iron them out. We have also seen instances where opposition have voted with their feet, leaving parliament, and allow majority to always have their way. It is part and parcel of parliamentary process. Once you have numbers, I was a reporter in parliament, and I saw the era of J.H. Mensah, and then Abraham Oseidu, and the rest of them. You saw a lot of such antics being at play. But for me, as a student of politics, all that I want is that the parliament should be able to assume a position as a boiling pot, and that all shades of opinion and interest are addressed for the benefit of what the people. If you look at, if I extend the conversation to the realms of what the constitutional review process, you've seen a lot of things have been proposed that if we are able to have a position on that, it's going to strengthen the frontiers of parliament and make parliament what we expect it to be. Even though I disagree with some of them, the issue of we having, members of parliament out, ministers outside parliament, it doesn't really matter. You can change the system. Remember, Ghana operated a Westminster system in 1969, parliamentary, strictly speaking. In 1979, we had the presidential system of government. What happened? And then we decided that we are going to have a hybrid in the Fourth Republic. We've seen it all. What is really affecting us is not the structure, is not the system that we put in place, but the human beings who drive the system, their character, their persona, their attitudes, the wherewithal, their experience come to play. That aside, we also need institutions. Institutions constitute everything in terms of politics. They are the rules, the procedures, the norms, all of them. So once you have the wrong institution, it doesn't matter the human beings who drive them. At the end of the day, you are going to have a disjointed type of governance. And that is what we are seeing. I am looking forward to more conversation on the Constitutional Review Committee thing so that we shape and strengthen Parliament for Parliament to play its role. The argument about efficiency and that if we elect people outside Parliament, you and I know it will not work. Because, look, if today we have the numbers we have in Parliament, if you have ministers outside Parliament, can they hold the ministers answerable or responsible for their actions and inactions? Because of strict party discipline, you have to play ball. Otherwise, you'll be edged out of the political system. And that is something that was actually missing from the review report.
When I
was also looking forward to one issue about 3 months to election. Somebody decides move to another party or go and register for another political party. You saw the last parliament, that issue, and even though the Supreme Court dealt with it. But I believe that we should also look at it from political perspective and see, because I disagree with the Supreme Court with respect, in a sense that once we elect people to Parliament, it's by social contract to go and represent me in terms of my party. You go there and say you found a new love with another political party, 3 months to election, you want to leave. But at the same time, when the caucus want to have a meeting in Parliament, do you think they can accommodate you? That question still remains unanswered. And I believe that as we discuss the issues, we can bring a finality to it and see where it will fit.
I'm going to Professor to take my answer to the 2 questions I asked about resources, whether it's strictly from governments, because he's introduced investments and as well the training. When I come to you, Dr. Sasanti, because you were concerned about honeymoon period, and also concerned about the fact that in 2 years, it looks like you have to start governing because you're going to be measured. The Constitution Review said that the president should be given 5 years. They did some math and arrived at that conclusion. I'll take your view on that and an assessment of the judiciary as well. But Prof, let me take my answer on those 2 questions.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, then fine, good. So, at the local government services, our financial resources comes from two main sources. Looking at the donor support and then government of Ghana. Mainly, the donor support comes to target the systems that are supposed to allow the local government service function, and then government of Ghana plays that dual role of providing salaries of our workforce, and then also invest in the systems as well.
Please help me before you move on. Please help me before you move on to the other. Kindly explain the donor support part a bit more.
Yeah, so the donor support partners are, talking about international agencies who are in the country to support, government in its operations. And we're talking about GIZ, we're talking about CEPO, we're talking about, you can name them. And these are all agencies that, support government in its operations.
Okay, please proceed.
Yeah, so with the human resource capacity, which I mentioned that it needs to be updated, I talked about it because the last time it was updated was somewhere 2014. And at that time, the job classes were quite limited. But for now, the job classes across the local government has been extended to about 64 of them. And as a result of that, we may need a new one. And with a new one, we've floated, proposals which some of the, like I said, donor partners are more interested in, supporting systems that will make the HRs across the assemblies function very well. Some of them have shown interest, and trust me, they are prepared to support us going into the next year. And government of Ghana still, as far as we draw from the consolidated fund as per the Act of, local government, I'm talking about Act 936, 2016, we draw on the consolidated fund. And as a result of that, for every budget, there's a provision for the local government, service.
Okay. Should the government push for the election of MMDCs and all of these people? Does it help in any way? And I understand that your focus is on the services part, but of course, that as well has an indirect impact. What will work for a very effective and efficient local government services?
Well, when you talk about local government, we're looking at a center word, which we normally emphasize on, has to do with decentralization. And for decentralization, if you want to decentralize, it has to be decentralized completely. If you are talking about things like decentralized planning in the Act, as the 936 indicate, you're talking about fiscal decentralization. You're talking about decentralized planning. Talking about decentralized administration, which local government service plays a dominant role. And so we may have to look at decentralized, politics as well. In all cases, you want to send governance to the doorstep of the people. And so to a point where the people should be able to elect their own, to be able to determine who can do the job, right? Not necessarily an appointment from the center that will determine who is supposed to do a job somewhere at the local level. So if we want to decentralize fully through all the arms of decentralization and going by political decentralization, I think in a direction of electing our MMDCs, will put something good on our table. The people themselves know the right people to elect, and as a result of that, we should be able to give them the mandate to ensure that they elect the right person to manage the affairs at the local level.
It makes accountability a bit more straightforward, does it?
That is how I'm looking at it, because at the end of the day, more or less, you see, the allegiance of someone appointing you and then also the people electing you, differ. And so if, the MMDCs know that, look, I've been elected by the people, at the end of the day, accounting to them becomes the ultimate.
Okay.
And they have no choice to ensure that they do the right thing to satisfy the people.
Okay. I know, Doc, I know that you would want to take a bite on this election of MMDCs and the likes, but let me go to Richard. So I want to take assessments of the police service, the military, fire service. They have been more dominant in last year's conversation. Please assess them for me.
No, the combined efforts of the CID bloc and the IDP bloc, I always say the combined effort because Christian Tete-Yahono has worked with the CID boss, Madame Lydia, before. So it's like a father and a daughter relationship. They never had many of the difficulties working together. Then again, if you look at Madame Lydia, the mom has worked within the security intelligence environment for a very long time. So she's not new to security intelligence, and she has lived her life throughout it. And that is why, because they work together and they cooperate, you are seeing the resources available to them and the outcome of the investigations and the results they have achieved so far. If I'm asked to rate them, which usually I don't do, I'm likely to give them 8 over 10.
For all three?
8 over 10.
All
but
three
then
together.
Again,
okay.
Yeah, 8 over 10. Let me say that for national sovereignty guarantees to be achieved, you also need a strategic input of the BNI, providing the intelligence for the police to move. And this they have done across the country, with their junior brother, the Cybersecurity Authority, coming in so strongly, working together with the Cybersecurity Department of the Ghana Police Service. These 4, outside of the military, they have done a good job. And they have ensured that we have the right intelligence at the right time across the country. They have ensured that national sovereignty guarantees have been achieved. And they have also ensured that public safety challenges and the concerns that come with providing security assurances across the country has been very swift. I have traveled across the breadth and length of this country, and I've always seen them on the ground. And that is the way to go. So kudos to them. Let them work so next year. And when we come to the year review 2026, we'll look at their performance again.
Okay. Doc, did you want to respond to the election of the head of local governments, or you want to go straight to the assessment of the judiciary? And also what's part of the constitution review that came up, especially extending the term of a president?
I think the conversation around electing our local reps has been long overdue. Scholars have done research into this area, saying that we can operate a disjointed system where at the national level, you have leaders being elected by their people. And then at the local level, you have what? All manner of, appointment and all that. What is even worrying is that go to the local level when they are conducting election, it's nothing but what? Partisan, along partisan lines. So who are we deceiving? All right. Let it be, because beyond all that I've said, the benefit of this is that you are likely to have the people, the person elected will be the true representative of their party, of the people. It doesn't matter where the person comes from. At that level, people will look for those who can deliver the public good. And that's all. So you can imagine in the belly of Ashanti region, like Bantama, you have NDC member who has won election and is steering the affairs of the day. Very interesting. And same way, you want to see something like K2 North, and then you have an MPP person driving government programs to his fruition. So I believe that it is better, and it allows democracy to rub off the people from top to down without any much difficulty. So I believe that the 5-year term, that you want to elongate the tenure of the presidency by a year, I disagree, and disagree vehemently. All right. The Constitution doesn't give anybody 2 terms. But by dint of hard work, we consider you and we'll add another tenure to it. If we give you what? The first term, we are only telling you that show us something, that you have something under your sleeves and that you can perform to our expectation. When you are able to do that, then we'll add another layer of 4 years tenure for you. 8 years should be enough for you to be able to deliver. I mean, the 10, I'm afraid, we are likely to have problems. If you have a very, you have a strong leader, you have a dictator, a democratic dictator operating within that decade of governance, the governance space. Look, you and I will run through windows.
What if the person is performing well? Just the opposite of
if you perform, yes, governance, politicians are nothing but birds of passage. You fly through the surface of the political system. You go away. Yes, people have performed, but at a point in time, you have to bow out and allow others to come in. Knowledge, experience, skills do not reside in the head of only one person. And that is where we want people, after 8 years, sit back, help to build a party, because Ghanaian political system are mostly electoral machineries. They have not taken the trouble to build them along ideological lines, along results, train them along, achieving results at all times, and then building the capacity to be able to govern. Sometimes we struggle in governance and all that, but you realize that the political parties have not prepared people who have what it takes to govern. Look at the issue of corruption. We have fought corruption since time of Noah when he was a sailor. And today, we still fight corruption. Simply because, look, the political parties have not had a better handle of this issue. We change it, slogans, days. We have used all manner of schemes. And today, we are where we are, simply because the political parties have not prepared themselves for this. So that 5 year, I disagree.
I want to take some comments from the other panelists on this particular term, because this really situates every conversation that we're having, both at the local governance level, security and all of that. What's the implications security-wise? Local governance, for example, Prof, is it okay that the president is still at the top? Because you're looking at decentralization, so it doesn't matter who the president is and how long they stay. Prof, does it?
Yeah, so, clearly, I would say that, yes, the timing is important. But then, if we are running a country, which at the end of the day, every party comes with a manifesto. The manifesto builds into policies. And then we have structures within the system that runs with the policies. We shouldn't have problem with a 4-year mandate. The 5-year is a proposal. And once it is floated among Ghanaians, we have to determine whether we need a 5 years or not. This is purely a referendum.
But how do you feel?
Decision.
I'll take it from a professor. How do you feel about it? I'll take it from a professor.
Right. So from where I sit, I don't think it is necessary, because if you have institutions that are running, whatever policy that a party throws out, obviously those institutions must run with the policies. And devoid of the tenure of the political administration, we should be able to run Ghana without time bounds.
Okay. Security-wise, does it mean anything at all?
Definitely, yes. It's a known fact that there are different kinds and types of democracies across the group. The type of democracy practiced by the British is different from the Americans. And I think our country has aligned with the American system for a very long time. And there's a historical focus to that. Personally, I would have said, instead of saying 5 years and assuming that a president will have the opportunity to go for 2 terms, because that is an assumption, I would have said, let's make it 7 years, 1 term, for every president that get opportunity to serve at the highest level. In terms of security, Professor Saiwa said that when you have a political dictator, the longer they stay in power, that also has an undertone as to what will happen within the security environment. But Prof, it's also a known fact that longevity in some other countries has also helped them in terms of the tangibility, deliverables when it comes to governance. And I believe the Constitution Review was considering many of these things, particularly within Africa and within Europe. So it's a conversation. Let's look at it again. Personally, I would have loved 7-year term for a president and don't come back again.
And don't come back again. Well, finally, what in terms of security, where should the country start from, or where should it continue on the back of a clean sheet? Should we even start on a clean sheet at all?
No, if you look at what the president has done in terms of retooling the security agencies, there's a bill in parliament where the military are going to have their own university. Signal Bureau, when I was working with the BNI, Signal Bureau used to be a core aspect of the BNI job. And today they have autonomy, and the president said they are going to be a university for them at home, which is a laudable idea. When you go to the southern part of Africa, the police have their own university, and I would have loved to see the police having their university, or the police having a crime scene and forensic investigations department for them to have the ability. So that from Z9, we're going to be going to South Africa for the DNA test. The police will have the full house to be able to deal with it. I would also love the president in 2026, 2027 to put up a cybersecurity and risk assessment center within the BNI sectors. And then again, many individuals have encroached on the security land. They have also encroached on the airport land. Those are security challenges that needed to be fixed. And the retooling must not stop, because you asked me about fire service. The president promised them about 100 fire tenders, and I would love it to be delivered. I would love the equipment for the military to be delivered, and I would love the equipment for the police to be augmented more. Because if you want an output that you'll be proud of, then you will need to provide the resources. And one of the key resources is equipment and training of personnel. So that is what we are looking at for in 2026.
Finally, again, for the Boko and where we are with it, how do we sustain it? How do we maintain it?
No, I think one of the things government must do after they have enforced the recommendation is to ensure that they deal with people who want to take the law into their own hands. For many years and for many months, they haven't done that. In security and environment and within the security intelligence, there has been this concern, and I have championed it over the years, that non-punishable offenses will always rationalize bad behavior and promote antisocial tendencies in society. And this is a typical issue we have seen in Boko. Once you do not punish people who take the law into their own hands, you are rationalizing that bad behavior that others can do the same. And it runs through political circles and within the level of fraud we have seen committed by politicians. Let's start it and let's end it. Once we flood our laws, let the laws be more biting, and let's take it from there.
Doc, Pandai by-election is just some days away. It brings to the fore the conversation of elections again, because every year when there is by-election or a rerun, it is as though our democracy is still tested once again, and it is nearly done without violence. It's 2026. Every time when we have conversations about our democracy, of course, election is what comes to the fore about it. This year, moving forward, I hope there aren't any more by-elections, and if there are by-elections, it won't be because of any bad news, maybe a person passed or not. But what kind of election are you looking to see in Pandai, and what would it mean to the very fabric of democracy moving on?
I always stand for free and fair election. Election devoid of violence, intimidation, harassment, an election that the media is at the tomb of the government. We don't want election like that. We want election where people can participate and express themselves freely to elect the people or the person that they want. So that is what I expect. But of course, I expect messages to be developed and churn out to the people that will resonate with them. At the local level, it is true that we have what we call the constituency-specific issue. They feature strongly in local politics. And I expect the political parties to take political notice of this and then begin to work out messages that will resonate with people. That aside, there are also regional specific issues. There are certain regions that they have certain problems that they want to bring it to the attention of the political actors. So these ones, I expect the political parties to be able to identify them and all that. And aside all these things, you're also looking forward to the economy. One of the important variables that determine voter choices at the national level, regional and constituency level is the economy. Because once the economy is healthy, it rubs off everybody and it makes life better. If you read Dance and Co., their theory about where people vote because of what they will get, it's simply because of economic survival. So once the economy slips through your fingers, you will not even have the moral courage to go and campaign. Campaign on what? So that will show. MPP is in opposition, but the work that they did are going to be tossed up and showed to the people. And that is going to be the foundation of their messages. If you look at what NDC is doing now, it's going to go there as a test case for them. Do you want the person from this party to come and lead and all that? Violence has been an issue associated with election that this country, hypocritically, we have run away from it. I have observed the political space, especially the electoral space from 1992. We started off with people snatching ballot boxes and all that, you recall. And then later, people move in employing macho people to come and intimidate and harass people. We forgot about that. Later, we saw the vigilantes coming into the sense that it rocked the foundation of the MPP government that they had to send a bill to Parliament to pass a law to prescribe the activities of these. Every time, all that I'm saying, you saw, Techiman, the South, where 8 people were gunned down and up to date, they don't have what? Justice and all that. These are things that for every election, when they come up, we try to manage. As soon as elections are over, we don't come back to look at it. And the next election, another incident come in, politicians take us to another level and all that. We cannot go on this, cycle because we cannot be lucky all the time. We want to work and make sure that we have provide adequate measures to deal with that. Now people are running away from the issue of violence and saying that when there's a by-election and in case of death, that individual whose party has lost that candidate, let him nominate somebody to represent. That's a bogus proposal.
You've said that many times, yeah.
Yeah, because people are running away from the problem of war because they don't want violence. Yes, deal with violence head on, and then you will accommodate any by-election because it's normal. People can even, without that, people can retire or resign. That I'm out of politics, I'm going away.
Right.
What do you do? So by-elections will come, but let this country make it a point that we deal with what? Miscreants who cause mayhem, violence in election. Unfortunately, we are not be able to do that because the political parties themselves are those who are behind such individuals and they support them. They don't want the state to punish them and all that. So impunity begins to grow and we've seen a recurrence of such attitude. We need to address it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sasanti. Prof, what is governance if we don't feel it locally, really? Because it's the local level that you feel that there is real governance and development. What are you starting with 2026 from your side?
Yeah, 2026, I think at the local level, we need to appreciate, what a government, stands for. So one of the key things that we're going to enhance is our client service to the people, to ensure that at least the people appreciate what government stands for. The people appreciate, what, they are entitled to as far as, the various assemblies, are concerned. So we're going to make sure that at least we appreciate the people. If I say the people, I'm part of the people. I also live in a locality, and trust me, whatever I see on the ground tells me that the assembly is far away, or the district assembly is far away from the people, and want to make sure that at least the people come to appreciate, what the assembly stands for. And then the assembly as a developmental tool, is also important when it comes to, communication. Because many a times, people don't even see the reason why they should pay property rate. But then it has to do with awareness. And I think I'm tasking, the assemblies to ensure that at least whatever rates they collect and the development they're going to do with it, they should be able to label it for the people to see that at least these are the things your money is doing. And as a result of that, the people will be willing to pay their property rate and other things. And then also to ensure that if someone comes for, maybe, what do you call it? Property, should I say property rate, or the other one that normally when the people are going to building permit.
All right.
When you go for building permit, that should be the beginning of your database in the assembly's pool, so that they can track you, and when the building comes to place, they should be able to determine, where you are, and they will come for, the property rate as expected. So we're going to do a lot when it comes to bringing, governance to the doorstep of the people. And like I said, if we have very good institutions running, we don't need to extend the term for, the presidency. Because if institutions are running effectively, you can even have a political party that will come and initiate its policies. And as a result of that, goes off the scent, the institutions runs with it, and then, the people feel, the governance.
Prof, thank you so much. Dr. Sasanti, thank you so much. Richard, thank you so much. I will just read to you a message I've just received from Samson Ladianyenene, who is just sharing his son's thought exactly when he saw the topic for discussion today. He says that, I know exactly what government should focus on. Execute every galamsea. Sugri Kafui Anyenene, he's 10 years old, and this is his message as soon as he saw that we're discussing what should be the government's clean sheet performance in 2026. I definitely stand with Kafui's message and his understanding of the real issues in Ghana. I will be looking forward to all of that and the performance of government. Thank you so much. Please stay this more on the show. Thank you so much for staying with us and spending your new year with us here on the Joy News channel. So you'd agree with me that January usually will start with a lot of ambitions. By now you have set your goals. By now you're hoping that you're stopping certain things you were doing in 2025. Well, let's try to help you. And so this morning, let's set achievable goals for 2026 so that you're not setting the goals, they are not smart, they're not achievable, and then by the end of the year, you're not happy with yourself because you think that you didn't achieve anything. And so to help us do that is Samuel Ayim, leadership coach, International Coaching Federation, and John C. Maxwell certified. And the theme today is achievable goals. Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
May God bless all of us and Joy FM, Joy News, and the multimedia family, and all of us.
I promise you that. I'm certain this is as a child. I will set goals. You have no idea. Sometimes you start thinking about it in November. You want to write, they say write it down, they say do that. You set so much goals.
Absolutely.
But media, February 15th. Nah. It's dead. Yeah. I want to start the conversation by asking why people fail at their own goals even before the year ends. Let's start from there.
Good. I mean, as you said, I was talking to a young man just before the end of the year, and I said, okay, what are you looking at for 2026? Say, Daddy, with the 2026 there, 1 million Ghana cedis. To wait, for me, my goal for 2026 is to get 1 million Ghana cedis. And that is his resolution to be able to get. Why don't we achieve this? I think it's first and foremost because we sometimes overemphasize events over process. And what is happening is that, it's 31st night and we're going and we're hearing all the motivations and the power and everything. And we want things to happen just like that. And so we are energized by events and we forget process. But nature is actually process. All of us were born, we grow. You don't just wake up with a building. You have a process. And not understanding process over event is one of the things. So all these New Year things that we hype and the resolutions and things is because you have a mindset of event. That something is going to happen and I'm going to get 1 million Ghana cedis. And this year, dear, my miracles are coming. And we forget that to get that 1 million Ghana cedis, you need to go to the bottom and ask yourself, how is the 1 million Ghana cedis coming? What are going to be the sources that those 1 million? What do I need to do? Watch my revenues my expenditure? How am I going to focus to be able to get? And that is the problem. We want things to happen. We live in a miracle world. People want things like that. So that is one of the key.
So the events are not illusion. They exist.
Yes.
But it is what you do
exactly
to achieve it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So we should understand that goals will not happen if we don't work at them. So getting that motivation is good, but it takes discipline to be able to achieve the goals. So just setting a goal and hoping, going to sleep and saying 2024 without going through the process of how that goal is going to be achieved is not good.
It is. So if I understand, the goal is not the problem. It's the discipline to achieve the goal.
Absolutely.
But also, you hear somebody say that, but this your goal is too overambitious. Is there anything like an overambitious goal? This is not achievable. Is there anything like that?
Yes. When you are setting goals, there are different types of goals. First of all, I would say, if you're going to achieve your goals, you should start with your why. Start with your why, which means, why do you want 1 million Ghana cedis? What is the purpose? And many a time, we don't have a strong purpose for the goal. If you don't have a strong purpose, why, that will drive you, then the goal will just be a mirage. So start with your why. What is your purpose? And that brings us to two different types of goals. What is called the end goals and the means goals. So your purpose goes to your values. What is the ultimate reason why you want 1 million Ghana cedis? And there are three elements of the end goals.
Okay.
First of all, what is the contribution that you want to bring to the world? What impact do you really want to make? That's more important than just getting 1 million, because 1 million is just a means goal. You're getting that 1 million to do what? Get a strong why on your contribution. What experiences is the 1 million Ghana cedis going to help you achieve? Peace of mind? Security? What is it? Okay, and the third element of the end goal is growth. Who do you want to become at the end of the day? Now, if you don't understand the difference between the end goals and the means goals, you will set a lot of means goals and you don't have a strong why to drive there. And that is when the goal becomes a mirage. So yes, you can have whatever goal you want, but it should be grounded in your purpose. It should be grounded in your why.
Can your goal be overly ambitious than your purpose?
Your purpose should be the bigger picture.
Okay.
Your purpose is grounded in your values. Your purpose is grounded in who you want to become. So let's say, yes, I want to go to medical school. You want to become a doctor. Why do you want to become a doctor? Because I've seen so many people who have finished the medical school and they are not practicing. Mm-hmm. I'm a lawyer. I don't practice law. Okay? I mean, 30-something years at the bar, but today I'm not practicing. Of course, I've done it before. I'm doing something much more different from my legal training. Why? Because I have deep within me the desire to help people to become their better self. That is my higher goal and my purpose. That's my driving force. You need to have your driving force. What is your North Star? And that your North Star, under it, what you do together can be different. So, to motivate people, I speak, I teach, I train, and you can even write and do so many things to help people to become what they are. So, the goal, the means goals, should support your end goals.
Which means that when you're setting the goal, the end goal is first.
The end goal should be your first.
First, okay.
Start with that.
Which answers the question, why what experiences,
yes,
growth,
exactly,
that sits in your end goal.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Now, the other factor with goal setting which we should also look at is also here to distinguish between two other types of goals, growth goals and performance goals.
Okay.
Now, your growth goals, your performance goal, let's start from there.
Okay.
Is the specific you want to achieve. So you're a salesperson, for example. Oh, I want to increase my sales by 100% in 2026. So that's a performance goal.
Okay.
That's something that you want to achieve at the work, at your job, or whatever. But how do you achieve that? By working on yourself. What characteristics within you, what skills, what knowledge, what exposures do you need in order to be able to increase your sales by that 100%? It requires you to grow. So if you have just the basic, or if you're sales and you haven't worked on yourself, you're not reading any books, you're not watching out and making yourself a better salesperson, getting the skills that you need, the communication skills, the leadership skills, the influencing skills, the networking skills, which are all growth. So you need to, when you have set that performance goal, you have to ask yourself, what type of person do I need to become to be able to achieve
the end goal,
those goals? And that goes to working on yourself. And a lot of the time we don't achieve it because we have not worked on ourselves. We haven't built the capacity, the skills to be able to achieve what we say we want to achieve. And that is also an important, sometimes missing element in the goal. It's very, very important to focus more on your growth goals. What's the type of person I want to become? What skills do I need? What, networks do I need to build? Who do I want to become?
Do you answer those questions yourself, or you consult somebody to get the answers to those questions?
So that comes to now how you achieve the goals. Now, how you achieve the goals, sometimes there are things you can do yourself, but sometimes you may need help. And that is where you need, sometimes you need mentors and you need coaches to help you.
Okay.
To achieve it. So a mentor is somebody who has done what you want to do. So he's walked the way, he knows then you go to him. How did you do it? I also want to be like you. That's mentorship. But you also sometimes need a coach who may not have walked the way you have walked. But a coach is trained to partner with you by asking you thought-provoking questions to clarify the goals. Just this week, I had a client that we're talking about what he wanted to achieve and so on and so forth. I want to improve my leadership and so I started the process, asking a lot of questions, leading questions. I got to a point, he says, Uncle Sam, now you're putting me on the spot. I said, well, you said you want to achieve this, but at the bottom, it was clear that you've not thought through carefully all the issues that come. And that's where you need a coach. A coach will help you to move from here to there. Help you to ask the questions you're not thinking about. The thoughts in your mind, the desires in your heart, your gut. The coach goes all deep down and helps you to bring this answer. Oh, yeah, so I haven't thought about that. Then the coach will help you to say, all right, now that we are clear, what do we see to be the obstacles on your way?
Okay.
Oh, sometimes we set goals and we don't think about the consequences and the obstacles. And then when they come, you say, oh, no, God, no, this is not what I expected. Well, you have to anticipate what the obstacles will be and then begin to ask, what do you need to do if this happens? If this happens, what happens? So you have scenario situations on what you will do when this thing happens. You see, if you start with the end in mind, like Stephen Covey would say, begin with the end in mind, you answer so many questions before they arise.
Okay.
And it is not when the questions arise that you are looking for the answers.
Before you continue, let's get some clarity. What's the clear difference between a wish, a resolution, and a goal that's achievable? What's the difference? Okay. So that by this time somebody is watching me, they'll know that, okay, this thing that I'm writing is just a wish. This thing that I'm writing is a resolution. And this is a goal.
Oh, I wish I was the wife of King Charles. That's a young girl said, I wish I was the wife of... A wish is something that, I mean, yeah, it's something that you think
it will never,
good, but would not be able to be not happy.
And let's chances that some of your wishes can
well, some of them, if they are close to specific goals, and maybe we'll talk about how to set the goals. Okay. And when you were introducing, you talk about SMART goals. Okay. Because a wish has no definitions. It's not clear. It's not specific. So it's some general thing in the air. I wish I can go to heaven today. I mean, so that's something, some feel-good thing that you want to have.
Okay.
Okay. Now, a resolution is, okay, you make a definite decision. And decisions are important. So I make a decision that every day at 5 a.m., I will wake up and read. That is a decision you make. So that's a resolution. And resolutions are important for achieving your goals. Okay? So you need to make resolutions. But goals that are achievable, as we are saying, are clearly within your purpose areas. You've clearly understood them. You understand the means to get there. You understand all the obstacles and the permutations that may come. And you have clearly a plan.
Okay.
To achieve it.
Okay.
So sometimes somebody says, oh, and when we say we have a plan, it's not like someone say, oh, I've been planning to be a businessman. I mean, I have plans to be an entrepreneur. And say, okay, so where are the plans? Oh, and well, I've been thinking about it. So what do you want to do as an entrepreneur? He hasn't even thought of what he wants to do, but he says he has a plan. Now that's something like a wish. Because a plan is something you've sat down, analyzed, written down with specific goals and timelines. And so when we talk about SMART, it means the goal must be simple. It should be something that you can easily explain and you understand. Okay. When we say SMART, it's an acronym. M means, S is simple. M means measurable. A means the goal must be attainable or achievable.
This is us learning how to set the goals, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so get your pen and the paper. See, I'm feeling a little kind, so I'll convince my director and producer, so we open the phone lines to get some free consultation here, okay? So we'll put the number up there, but let's start. Get your pen and your paper, and let's learn how to set achievable goals. All right, Uncle Sam, let's start.
All right, so I say use the SMART model.
Yes.
Okay, so S is simple or specific. M is measurable. The A is attainable or achievable. R in the SMART is relevant. And T in the SMART is time bound.
Okay.
So for your goal to be achievable, it has to be specific. So I have somebody who says, oh, I want to improve my leadership. Okay.
That's too broad.
That's too broad. So working with this person, we go to a point where he says, okay, what I want to do is I want to read one leadership book every day, an hour a day, starting with X book. So your goal should not be just broad. When it's broad, your mind doesn't know what you want to achieve. You have to be very specific. Okay, so, oh, I want to lose weight. Yeah, that's fine.
Eko said that earlier today. He said he wants to lose weight. It wasn't specific.
It wasn't specific. So I want to lose 5 kilos every month for the next 12 months. That's specific.
Okay.
Okay. So that's specific. Measurable. So from this example, 5 kg is measurable.
Okay.
So you can stand on the scale and see if in a month I've dropped 5 kg. But if you say, I want to lose weight, so measurable, then that goal must be attainable. Now, if you say, if you are 90 kg today, and you say, I want to lose 50 kg in the next 2 days. Now, it's not, is it attainable? Maybe you want to kill yourself to achieve that. So that's not, it's not attainable. It has to be within the resource means that you have, that you can do it. You have the time, you have the energy, you have the resources to be able to do it. So you have to assess that. Then relevant means that that goal that you are setting must be relevant to your purpose. And we talk about purpose already.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it has nothing to do with your purpose, then sometimes you can just drop it.
Okay.
Okay. But if it's tied to your purpose, then you are more determined to do it because it's relevant to what you stand for, your values, and so on and so forth. And we talk about time bound, which means you must give yourself a time frame to achieve it. Oh, I want to lose weight. When? Well, so and they said, but I said I want to lose weight. It's just like some of our politicians do to us where they said their manifestos, you know. Then when you ask them questions, oh, but yeah, we said this, but we didn't give any time.
We can safely say that their manifestos are also goals, right? And so we must apply the formula of SMART.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we should be able to ask them and interrogate them. And sometimes they run away.
Yeah.
They come out with all these slogans and ideas, and when you want to pin them down, they will tell you to wiggle around it because it is not intended to be achieved.
After you have set a SMART goal, is it okay to maybe drop some or alter it a bit? You think that is it okay, or that makes you a failure?
No, that comes into now the process of implementing your goals. Okay? So in the process of implementing your goals, you have to have regular reviews. Actually, we are at the beginning of 2026 and you are setting goals. Let's say you've set all your goals, they are in line with your purpose, the end goals are clear from the means goals, you have your growth goals in there, and so on and so forth. You have to do a review and use what I call the stop, continue, and start model. So stop, continue, and start.
Okay.
Ask yourself, what is it that I have been doing that does not help the achievement of this goal? And stop them. So there are things you have to stop. So if you want to lose weight, 10 kilos within the next 6 months, what are some of the things you've been doing that do not help? All the cakes that you've been doing, the oversleeping, eating late at night, and all those things. And the kinky and fish, like my friend would say today, I haven't eaten cry, only 6 balls of cake. Okay? So there are things you have to stop. So you have to go through them and stop them. Then there are things you have to continue. What has worked in 2025? Oh, these things help me in my pursuit of losing weight or being financially free or something. They help me. The way I manage my expenses, I'll continue with them. Then there are some new things that I have not been doing that I now have to start doing. I've not been exercising, so I have to now start doing. Now, when you go through that process, there are things you begin to cross out. You list all of the stops. Use your red pen to cross them out. There are things you have to continue. You list them out. These are things I have to continue. Good habits I have to continue. And these are things that I knew I have not been doing this. I have to start. So 2026, I always said I will do this, but I'm now going to start. And when you start and you are now running the year, it doesn't necessarily mean, like I said before, you have to do scenario analysis and anticipate. You cannot anticipate 100% because we are human. It's only God who knows the future. Yeah. Things may happen, and that is where the word flexibility comes in.
Okay.
And the flexibility usually is coming into the means goal. That's why it is important to understand the difference between the end goals
and the
means goal. Now, generally, your end goals, if they are grounded in your purpose, you may not have to change them, but you need to change the means to go there. And sometimes what happens is that we are stuck to the means goals, and the means is not working, and we get frustrated and we give up.
Okay.
And that is where the challenge is.
We'll continue this conversation, but I want to remind you that the phone lines are opened now. You can call, ask questions. I mean, of course, I know that you will not be able to get all of your answers, but you can start the conversation, and after here, you can pick up with Uncle Sam a bit later. But I'll take you to Wale Wale. Uncle Sam, let's go to Wale Wale. Abdul is on phone. Abdul, Happy New Year. Good morning. Thank you for calling. What is your question? Unfortunately, we've lost Abdul. But if you're traveling from Accra to Kumasi, this is just to draw your attention that the highway is blocked with heavy gridlock, several kilometers of traffic due to that would bring you that update. But I think Kenny, my colleague, is on standby to bring us the real report. Kenny, let me understand what's happening on the Accra-Kumasi highway and what's causing the traffic.
The traffic situation is very terrible. I believe that it's the Philadelphia church. They had their watch night service, and right after they've been done with their watch night service, cars are not moving. We've been stuck here for the past 6 hours. People left Kumasi trying to get to Accra from 2 a.m. and they are still on the stretch. People are out of their buses right now, walking, but it's not moving at all. You know, at some point it just moves about 20 seconds, and then we are stuck for like an hour. So that's the current situation here. It doesn't look like people are getting to Accra anytime soon.
But Kenny, that's shocking because then 6 hours, if this is because of the church service, it ended a bit earlier, at least it should be moving at all. This means there's no police presence, there's nobody helping to control the traffic, and people are not moving at all. Kenny, do you hear me? Hi, Kenny. We'll try and reconnect, but that's the situation between the Accra-Kumasi highway. And so if you're planning to travel or use that road, Kenny, I'm going to try again. Is this to mean that there's no police presence or any traffic control measures at all? We're stuck for 6 hours and counting.
Yes, MFR, honestly, there's no police presence here at the moment. I'm just going to flip my camera so our viewers can see what's going on. There's no police presence here at the moment. You can see that the cars are just, moving. People are just out of their cars walking at the moment. So there's no police presence at all at this place. So I don't see any police presence. The only police presence we actually saw at some point was about 20 minutes ago. And right after that, we've not had any police presence around the stretch any longer. So that's the current situation.
What a way to start to spend your new year after a watch night service.
Right.
Commuters must be frustrated.
MFI, a lot of people are frustrated right now. A lot of people, you can see on this side, there are a lot of people that are walking. They're out of their buses literally, and then they are walking. They are trying to walk to wherever. I don't know where they are going, but people are literally out of their buses and they are walking. And so it's really frustrating. I spoke to some few people and it's that bad. So I don't know what can be done about it.
Kenny, they are walking. They are headed to Kumasi or coming back to Accra. Which one will be safer and shorter for them?
So they're heading back to Accra. They are walking to Accra because all these buses that are stuck are all moving to Accra. And so people have gotten out of their buses and they are trying to walk. I don't know where they are walking to, but they're trying to walk.
Has this affected the movement of cars back to Accra as well, or that is flowing quite freely?
Well, movement to Accra is the problem, but movement from Accra, I guess that lane is empty. Once in a while, you get traffic here and there, but that lane is quite empty. So for that one, I think it's fine.
So the traffic is instead Kumasi back to Accra, the Accra-Kumasi highway, but when they are returning to Accra, not Accra to Kumasi.
No, not Accra to Kumasi, Kumasi to Accra.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. And so those who are going to Kumasi at least have the free flow of traffic to get to Kumasi.
Yes, those going to Kumasi, yes, that lane is fine. They are okay. They can get to Kumasi, but those getting to Accra, that's what we have to do.
Well, Kenny, definitely not how I wanted to start our New Year conversation on TV, but please stay on it and keep me updated.
Sure, I'll do that, Emma. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kenny. And so that's the situation. If you have a family friend or somebody that you know is commuting from Kumasi to Accra and they're not in yet, this is the situation. You have to stay on guard and keep your friends and family updated. But back to our goal setting, the very smart one. You can call. I'll put up the number again, and then you can call us and ask the question. I'm sorry that I lost you, Abdul, but I'll be happy to take your call again. Uncle Sam, your goal can be smart, but can it be as well intimidating? Before you answer that question, let's go to Koforidua and speak to Nana. Hello, Nana. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Good morning, Hemi. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for asking, Nana.
Yeah, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you for the objective manner you handled these two political parties in the country. Keep it up, right?
Thank you.
Keep it up. It has been very challenging, but you've been able to stand. You have been able to resist them, and all the time you try to be very objective. And as a result, I listen to your radio, your TV all the time.
Thank you, Nana. Do you have a question about your goal setting as well?
Come again?
Do you have a question about how to set your goals for the year? Okay. Unfortunately, I lost Nana. So your goal can be smart, right? Yes. But can you feel sometimes that it is a bit intimidating? You set a goal that intimidates your own self.
Yes. And it is important. If you really want to grow, sometimes it is important to set goals that are intimidating because you really want to stretch. So there are what is called stretch goals.
Okay.
Okay. So you set a stretch goal because you really want to challenge yourself. But there are some goals that are not goals at all. I mean, yeah, I'm setting a goal to wake up every day at 10 o'clock. I mean, everybody can sleep in bed and wake up at 10. Okay? But you can set a goal. In fact, if your dreams do not intimidate you a bit, then they are not challenging enough. So your goals should challenge you. It should challenge you to stretch. It should challenge you to become a better person. It should challenge you to improve yourself. So, but it should not be such that it will discourage you.
Okay.
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 And it should not be unrealistic. Okay. So yes, intimidating, ambitious, stretching is fine, but it should be stretched within your resources. And that is where the concept of personal SWOT analysis,
right.
SWOT, S-W-O-T, is very important. You have to be aware of yourself. You have to examine yourself, because self-awareness is very important. You can set goals that are crazy because you're not aware of yourself. So SWOT means there's
just a minute before we go to the SWOT. We're going to Wale Wale. We'll speak to Oscar. Oscar, good morning and a happy New Year to you.
Good morning, madam. How are you?
Very well, thank you for asking.
Yes, I just want to ask my counselor some few questions. Yeah, now you have a plan. You are smart. And you have a target at the end of the year. But you didn't make it possible because of financial handicap. What are some of the measures without the financials, what are some of the measures that can help you to achieve some of your smart?
Thank you. That's a very realistic question that you have asked. It would have come anyway. So thank you for bringing it to the fore before we go to the SWOT analysis. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why we are saying your goals should also be realistic. And when you are setting goals that require some financial resources, the law of process we talked about also come in there. You have to ask yourself, how much do you need to achieve this goal? Where am I going to get this from? A lot of the time, we set goals that need resources. They are not within our means, and we are expecting somebody else to give us the resources to do it.
Yeah.
And that person doesn't come true to us.
Your realistic part in the SMART has failed.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and it also goes back to what we're going to talk about the SWOT, because you are examining, first of all, your strengths. You are examining your weaknesses. You are looking at opportunities, which is the O in the SWOT, and the threats. So when you are setting your goal, you should look at yourself and ask you, what are the strengths? What are the things within my control? And that is very important. Your goal should be within your circle of control. And even if it's not within your circle of control, you know that there are opportunities that can help to enlarge that circle of control. But if you set goals that are not within your circle of control, then they are not realistic. So if you have some financial element in your goal, you have to kick the tires about that finance. Take that through the process and ask yourself, where's the money coming from? Today you may not have the money, but who can give the money? What can you do to get that money? What advice do you need to be able to get that money? But sometimes we don't do that intentionally. And we just leave it and hoping that, well, an uncle somewhere is going to give me money to... Exactly. And then you go to your uncle, and truly he probably doesn't have it. But you all assume that because he drives a nice car, he should have the money. And then you begin to complain, I was expecting my uncle to give me this and he didn't give me. That's why I was not able to achieve my goals.
Uncle Sama, hold on, and we'll go to Obuasi and talk to Richard as well. Hi, Richard. Good morning and Happy New Year.
Good morning, ever beautiful MFR. Happy New Year too.
Thank you.
Yeah, setting achievable goals for the year. Interesting. I think, especially with the guys, we have to look around us and check our financial status and then see how we can go about things. I would say that look at your income and then you relate it to your expenses. That don't look at what someone is doing or how somebody is spending, and just buy what you can afford. And then our ladies too. Should just take it easy with us. Just be content with what they have. Yeah, that's what I would say about that. And then there is an ad on the news that
yes.
How could we even allow to succeed? We even campaign all before we go and arrest. It's interesting. Here, I think we should have in the first.
Richard, unfortunately, you're breaking. We'll try again. You mentioned about a campaign.
What campaign?
Breaking.
No.
So we didn't hear you. What's the second part of your submission?
Yes, I was talking about Ebonoa.
Bonoa. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. What about it?
Yes, I can see on the screen that he's been arrested for causing public panic. And I'm saying that why did we even allow him to do this all this while? Why we could have stopped him in the first place? This is very interesting. We should be straight country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have yourself a happy new year. Uncle Sam is a lawyer. I would have attempted to get him to answer that question. Issues of law and religion when we get into it, but we'll follow it keenly, Richard, and all of you who are interested in that particular conversation, giving you update on that. But you, Uncle Sam, you're talking about, he also mentioned the same thing. It seems like finances tops it all. And after this, we're going to have a conversation on finances, but again, it comes to the realistic.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
It comes to realistic goals. You see, sometimes it's not just the finance. I've talked to a lot of people who you ask, and you say, "Oh, if only I can get 100,000." So I have a trick question that I asked a lot of people. If you have 1 million cedis now, what will you do?
I'll fail woefully. So I won't answer it.
Exactly. The thing is that many of us have not sat down, begin with the end in mind, to answer the question, if I have 1 million cedis, what will I do with it? We don't know. We are waiting to get 1 million cedis before we decide, okay, now with 1 million cedis, what am I going to do with it? And that is how people get 1 million cedis and they get lost. And you said you were going to talk about the financial side.
Yeah.
Because if you don't plan your finances and how to manage it properly, and that is a big area, how to manage our finances properly, we will not be able to get the money we need to do what we have to do. You don't have to have the money in your pocket to set a goal about money, but at least you have to know where that money is coming from, and when you get that money, what you're going to do with it. And many of us, we have not thought through it. And then the money comes, okay, now I have the money. And then you see the money will tell you what to do. And now, okay, you begin to buy cars, you begin to buy this, you begin to, like the guy was talking about, the lady should be kind on us. Now you begin to throw the money around to show off. Okay, the ladies will be ready also to help you.
I don't like the table you're about to shake. This my table is fair. I won't allow you to shake it. Well, we can have this conversation, but one of the things I think people should do is make it a habit to have conversations with life coaches like yourself and all. And so I'll take your final submission on this, and then encourage people to at least see Uncle Sam. The year has just started, and you must start right. Uncle Sam, I'll take your final submission, wrapping it all together.
Thank you, Emefa. I want to bring out 2 words that are important as we come to the end. And the first word is habit. Habits make us. There is a book with the title Atomic Habits. Maybe you want to begin the year by reading Atomic Habits, because your goals will succeed or fail on the habits that you deploy in 2026. So watch your habits. The things you do consistently will determine whether you're going to be successful or not. So make sure that your behaviors, your conduct, your thinking, and all are aligned. And that goes to the consistency with which you are approaching your goal. You don't just start and then you give up. The second word is visualization. Now, it is important that you internalize the goals you are setting by visualizing constantly where you want to get to. It is important to set your mind, your spirit, and soul on that goal. You have to actually believe in the goal and imagine yourself achieving those goals constantly. Because it is a powerful, powerful energy that will keep you on course as you are going through the year. Of course, as a Christian, I want to encourage all of us to also focus on God. You can plan, you can purpose, you can do whatever you want to do within your power. At the end of the day, we don't control this world. So the God factor is a very important one. So commit your plans to the Lord, and He will help you. So let us, as we think about these things, there are things within our power we can do. The things we cannot do, let's look for people who can help us either accountability partners, mentors, coaches, and so on who can help us. But above all, let us seek the face of God. Those of you who believe in prayer, pray about your goals and let your goals align also with the purposes of God.
Thank you so much, Uncle Sam. This has been very, very educating and very, very informative as well. Where can we find you? How can a person come to you for some services?
Well, you can reach me on 050-404-6852. Or you can go to CTL Africa Leadership, which is where we have a lot of information. That's our company. We provide training and coaching services across Africa. And so you can go to CTL Africa and look up our programs. Every weekend we have, every Saturday we have a free leadership webinar. We've been running for more than 5 years. So reach out to me or go to CTL Africa and then connect with us.
All right.
Social media also.
Uncle Sam, thank you so much and a happy new year.
Thank you, Amy, and many happy returns to you.
We go for a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be very kind enough to provide you 5 powerful nuggets to stay financially sound. But quickly before that, a happy birthday to Comfort Efwa Mesbia Owusu of Achimota Abofu. Cheers to greatness, Mommy. We love you. This is from your children, Daniela, Philomena, Angela, and the squad. Afishapa. When I come back again, I shall do the rest of the birthdays for you. Please stay. Thank you for staying with us. So, a new year, generally, January can be so hard because if you're like me, you must have spent your money in December. This is popular knowledge. It hasn't been, it hasn't been debunked yet. So we stick to that theory and that's understanding. And so, trying to make your 2026 a little easy on you, we've managed to whisk my sister. She is a personal finance coach, Sophia Kafuite. She's here to give you at least 5 power-packed financial nuggets for 2026. There are no buts and ifs to this. You note it down, make sure you're following it, and then we'll take stock at the end of the year. It's good to see you, sis. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
I hope you're well.
Doing very well. Yourself?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. Thank you. I have my pen and my paper.
Okay.
We can start.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, Happy New Year, everyone. You agree with me that the New Year is just like any other day, but it presents us opportunity to set goals that will make our lives better and also help improve our human dignity. So I have very few stuff to talk about, 5 financial nuggets that will guide you in 2026. The first one is that your salary is no longer your security. Everyone is praying, God, give me a job and this. And once we get a job, we think that that is enough. But there are so many other opportunities where we can increase our income streams. And that will be through maybe an additional source of income, like a gig, sort of. Why am I saying that? It's very necessary that your salary can't protect you enough. I mean, inflation has taught us that inflation can make nonsense of your salary. Somewhere 2022, we realized that the cedi depreciated so high and it eroded a lot of people's income, especially those who earn the Ghana cedi and not foreign currency. And that has taught us a lot. And also, once you don't own the job, even if you own it, at some point it can collapse.
Sure.
Yeah, so layoffs, business struggles, and all those things have taught us that having one source of income will not give you the needed security you need. So having one source of income will not give you the needed security. So what's the advice here?
Yeah.
The advice here is for us to be able to build at least one additional stream of income. I mean, social media presents us a lot of opportunities to sell without actually having a physical warehouse or something. Even if someone is selling a house or a car, you can, if you have the followership, you can pick it, put it on your status, and maybe agree with the person and get some commission on that. That gives you an additional source of income that can augment your current income. And it's very important for us to know that this year and beyond, I mean, having additional source of income is not like negotiable. It's actually a survival strategy. So even if your additional source of income will be even 300, 500,000 or something, once it adds to your existing income, it makes your life better in a way.
So if I understand, because your salary is no longer your security, you must find another source of income.
Yeah.
This other source of income should definitely not threaten the existence of your job that is giving you that salary, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And not your additional source of income should not conflict with what you are doing. So it means you have to look at your job. What else can you do that will not put you in a conflict of interest situation, and then go in for those legit ones and then make your life better.
Okay. That's the first nugget.
Yeah.
Okay. Nugget number 2.
Nugget number 2, emergency funds are no longer luxury. You know, savings are not for profits, but it's for survival. Many of us want to invest, but we do not really have any emergency funds. So just one emergency just wipes off all our savings or investment over a period. For instance, if you have no health insurance in place, or you are not supported by any employee benefit that will take care of some emergency health issues, you can agree with me that one health emergency can erode all your income. So it's very important that we build an emergency fund. The rule of thumb is that you should be able to have at least between 3 to 6 months of your basic living expenses as an emergency fund.
Explain that. Basic living expenses.
Yes, so you as a person, you should be able to estimate how much you spend on a monthly basis. Take an average of a good month, a rough month, and then a normal month. And then you take the average, then it gives you an idea of how much typically you spend. So if you are able to know that, okay, typically I spend maybe 10,000 or 12,000 a month, then you should be able to have an emergency fund that will be like 3 times of that, or between 3 to 6 times of that.
Okay.
That gives you very good security. It comes in handy when you have financial emergency, so that you don't go calling people and all that.
Where does the emergency fund usually come from?
So mostly emergency funds are something that you have to build intentionally. It's different from your investments. You just have to put a percentage. It's something that you can build over a period of time and let it be secure there, and then you continue your other investments. So if you know that, okay, you spend between 10 to 12,000 cedis a month, and you currently do not have an emergency fund, it means that you have to plan and budget in such a way that your next salary or whatever gig you get, you'll be putting some money down to give you up to between 36,000 and above as your emergency fund, so that if something happens to you, you can quickly fall on it.
What's the percentage you would recommend?
Some people say, depending on your income level. So it's a function of your income level and also your typical expense.
Okay.
Yeah, so some people say 10%, 15% of your income. But if you build the emergency fund to the point that is okay, then you don't have to continue building. Mostly people build emergency funds by putting funds in maybe money market investments. I'll explain them when we move forward, or putting them in savings and other products that are offered by financial institutions. There's this thing I always say: there are certain things that should not come as emergency. You know that you pay rent every year, and you know how much your current rent is. Wouldn't it be prudent for you to put aside maybe, let's say your rent is 1,000 cedis a month. What if you put even 400 cedis every month towards that rent in a savings account or investment account? By the time that 1 year is up, even if you earn like an interest of maybe 100 cedis in addition, you already have 50% of your rent.
Right.
Then your current month salary, you can decide to probably add like maybe 40% to it, and then give it to the landlord and negotiate a grace period. But you can't wait. You know very well that your rent is due, and you wait for the year to end, and you now call friends, this is an emergency. This shouldn't be an emergency. These are some of the things that we can practically provide for to protect our human dignity, and also to help us have a better life, so you don't stress yourself on things that are totally preventable. School fees is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are
not a surprise. Yeah.
Predictable. You know very well how much the school fees is. You know very well that it is paid quarterly, and all those things. So you just have to plan for it. When it comes, it shouldn't come as a surprise to you.
Stop calling people that I need emergency. Okay.
Then your emergency becomes our emergency.
That's true. Nugget number 3.
Nugget number 3. So if you don't control your lifestyle, inflation will control you. A lot of us grow our lifestyle faster than our income, and that can quietly lead us into bankruptcy. You know, sometimes when we hear the concept of bankruptcy, we think that it is only for corporate organizations, that the organization is bankrupt and all that. But individuals too can be bankrupt, and in our normal parlance, we say that the person is broke and that kind of thing. So if you know your source of income and you don't adjust, you are spending more than you are earning, then you are not being prudent. There's this popular saying that if you are in a hole, you don't dig deeper. If you are in a hole, your struggle or your objective should be that, so let me get out of this hole. But if you keep digging deeper, then you are putting yourself in a self-sabotaging manner that only God or grace can rescue you. But sometimes the grace doesn't come as fast as you expect. You just need to put practical steps in place to be able to, handle your income.
A clear example of control your lifestyle will be?
So control your lifestyle is, okay, you know that your income level cannot support the school fees of your children, but because you are neighbors with people whose children attend that school, you want to, meet the Joneses and that kind of thing, or impress someone. Then you take your child to that school. Every month, every quarter, you are struggling, and then you are living in neighborhoods that is way above your income. I think the rule of thumb is that your rent shouldn't be more than 40% of your income and all that. So, and then also spending on lifestyle things. Some people say that, okay, you have to do packaging and all that, but you have to do it. There are thrift ways of packaging in other cheaper options, and then you'll be able to live a meaningful life. So the practical advice is that if you see a marginal increase in your income, you have to split that increase, maybe do 30% into savings or investment, 20% into debt reduction. There are lots of people, generally, people have debts. Either they have debts, they've used debt to finance their building, they've used debt to buy a car, they've used debt to do something. People even take debt or loans for weddings and that kind of thing. So if your income level increases, some of the strategy will be that, okay, how can I reduce my debt? If you reduce your debt, it means that your monthly repayment becomes much lower. Then you push some into your savings and then some to your lifestyle. You can't continue saving. You don't know when you die. So you have to enjoy some, but prudently keep some somewhere that can come in.
All those falls under the controlling of your lifestyle.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I hope you're taking note of it. If you don't remember anything at all, just remember that 40% of your income for your rent, at least it shouldn't be more than that. Nugget number 4.
Nugget number 4 talks about the need for you to understand what you are investing in before you put. A lot of us put money in things we don't understand. Sometimes we are very careful, so you don't want your children to relate with certain people who have questionable behaviors. You don't want to mingle with certain people with certain characters that pose threats to you. But sometimes when it comes to our money, we become very reckless. If you don't understand what you are investing in, it's not safe for you to put your money in. So one of the practical things we should do this year is that before you put your money somewhere, understand it very well, where the money is going. What company am I investing in? Are they licensed? And then are they practicing good corporate governance? Are they managing risk very well? And then you monitor them. You follow the news. Anytime they appear in news for the wrong reason, you should be triggered. Scams strive when people have low financial education. High returns without clarity is very, very dangerous. So the practical advice for me here is that people should, if they can't explain the profits to you, the returns as a result of whatever profits or gains that are made, if it can't be explained to you, then please walk away with your hard-earned money. Remember, any money you commit to investment is something that you have denied yourself consumption and the pleasure of enjoying that money. So if you are going to entrust it into the hands of someone, it should be an institution that will safeguard it for you so that when you need it, you come for it. And one rule of thumb is also important, that you diversify your income. It's very important. So when you have money, you can put some into a financial instrument, treasury bills, bonds, mutual funds, and then business ownership. Sometimes people don't see business investment as investment. So you have to invest in some small business, some sole proprietorship, some partnerships. That will also help, help you generate some form of income. And then you have to also invest in some landed properties, and that has to be done with a lot of due diligence. And the rule is, don't put your money where you can't explain the risk. You understand? So if it sounds like free money, it means that it will ultimately come with free tears. It's just a matter of time, like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. So we need to be very mindful of some of these basic things.
Okay, that's hilarious. Nugget number 5, final nugget.
Okay, our final nugget is financial independence is the new respect. You know, financial independence is a state we get to where we don't have to actively work to, have a normal lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle we have. I think about 2 years ago, despite bought for himself a car, then people, on his birthday, it was millions of dollars. People started calculating the insurance that he was going to pay and all that. That is his choice. So financial independence is not fixed. Everyone and what financial independence means to them. So as an individual, you should be able to determine what financial independence means. So how much money do I have to show me that I'm financially independent, that can live me my lifestyle? What landed properties should I have? What businesses should I have running? That will give me a sense of like some sort of self-actualization when it comes to finances. So it's very important that you have to put your life in a manner that, plan your life in a manner that you become financially independent. One thing I've observed is that a lot of us have a very false sense of financial independence. Because we are gainfully employed and every month our salaries drop, we think we are okay until something happens. COVID has showed us that some industries can be grounded if there's some emergency that no one was able to plan or estimate. Russia, Ukraine, we've seen it, and other economic meltdown and all that. So if you have to plan your life in a way that you wouldn't have to go cap in hand begging for people for survival. And a lot of us also have a false sense of financial independence because we are not able to clearly define our source of financial independence. For instance, if you're a politically exposed person and by virtue of your position, you don't pay for certain things like travels and other things, for a period of time, you begin to feel like you are okay. But if you sit down and you analyze and you know that's okay, the source of my financial independence is this. And then how strong is that source? Some people, to the source of their financial independence is their spouse. If that is it, then you have to hold that relationship so tight with your heart. Because if you do, you drop it, you are finished. So the practical advice is for us to set boundaries. You cannot be financially independent if you don't plan your finances well and put yourself in a position where you will not be vulnerable to anyone. So it's important that we save for health, for old age, for children's education. And we have to start thinking beyond today, and then today and tomorrow, and even think into the coming future. You cannot pour from an empty cup, so keep filling your cup so you get to that level where you feel like, okay, by now, I think by God's grace, I'm financially independent. I have a lot to survive on till the Lord calls.
Aren't you just happy that we've just brought you this straightforward, no gimmicks, nuggets that are practical, that you can as well practice? Any of the books you have authored have got these nuggets?
Yeah, so I have Start Right, A Guide to Financial Investments in Ghana. That book talks a lot about investments, product risk, and even talks a lot about planning towards your retirement as well. I have Career Toolkit for Dreamers. That also talks about career. A lot of us have gifted with so many things that we can monetize to our benefit. So that book is also very good. You can grab it and others as well.
What's your social media handle so that they can follow?
It's just my name as it is, Sophia Kafrite, on LinkedIn, Facebook.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want to
just power pack nuggets. That stay with me. I'm going to spend a few minutes with Narcotic Control as well to see what they have been doing. Do you understand drug abuse? Today we'll get to understand with a few minutes that's left. Always a pleasure. Have a good one. Happy New Year. You got something to say?
Well, I just wanted to make a closing statement.
Please do.
Okay. So my closing statement is that 2026 will not reward people who earn more. It will reward people who plan better. Financial wisdom is no longer an option, but it's a survival. Thank you very much and have a blessed year.
This was important. You had to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please stay. Welcome back. Now, during the festive season, there's been that concern that young people are abusing drugs. But did you even understand exactly what drug abuse is? The Narcotics Control Commission has been quite big on the fight against illicit drugs or drug abuse. And joining me in studio is Senior Narcotics Control Officer Abdulaziz Ali, Head of Prevention, Greater Accra Office, Narcotics Control Commission. Thank you so much for joining us. Did any of your Christian friends invite you for Brunya? They didn't?
No. Thanks for having me. No,
don't mind them. Okay. Remind us gently about your mandate.
Okay. So first and foremost, I wish you a happy Christmas belated, and then New Year. I want to extend my greetings to our Director General, Brigadier Obubamante Maxwell, as well as our two deputies. That is Lawyer Alexandra Chumberema. He is the Deputy Director General for Enforcement, Control, Elimination, as well as Mr. Stephen Yabua, who is the Deputy Director for General Services, and all colleague officers of the Narcotics Control Commission. Now, the Narcotics Control Commission, as you asked, is an agency under the Ministry of Interior. So, one, we are mandated to control, eliminate drug abuse. And then quite apart from that, we also do what is known as the education and prevention. Then we also do rehabilitation, treatment, and social reintegration, as well as partnering other corporate, international corporate organization countries to help in the fight against drug abuse and illicit drug trafficking.
Did you say that drug abuse has become a major problem?
Yeah, it's a major concern. Before that, we need to understand what drug abuse is. So we are saying drug abuse is the repeated and excessive use of drugs for non-medical reasons to produce pleasure, even though it has got its destructive effect. So what is happening is that people are taking substances in their abundance repeatedly and then excessively in large quantity, even though it's not supposed to solve any medical issues for them, just for the pleasure they are getting, for the high and then the euphoria they are getting from it. It has become a concern because, these are substances that are not measured when people are taking them. So it has a tendency in the long run to affect the development of the brain, especially in teenagers. And research has shown that the human brain takes between 18 to 25, some will say 18 to 28 years to fully develop. Okay. As a result of that, we have what is known as the frontal lobe, which is one of the parts of the brain, which is responsible for memory, thinking, and attention. So if you start abusing these drugs, it goes there to distort the brain's function to think, the brain's function to movement, and then the ability for you to do something as a normal human being. Secondly, drug abuse it comes with its own health complications. As I said, because it is not measured how you are supposed to take it, when you are supposed to take it. So people just take it anyhow. Long run, it affects you health-wise, the kidneys, the heart, the lungs, because, for example, people are now abusing tramadol in large quantity, which is supposed to be a legal drug. When we say something is a legal drug, we mean drugs that are allowed by the law for you to use, to produce, whatever you want to do with it, the law allows you to use, but you have to be measured on how you should use this
These particular drugs, the ones that are being abused or used, is it the one that is genuinely sold in the pharmacies, or the ones that are trafficked, or the ones that are trafficked as well end up at the legitimate places?
Both. So, for example, drug, as I said, tramadol is a legal drug, which is a prescription drug. The law allows you to use it, but how and manner you use it can become abused. Okay, so that is why we have something called misuse. That is the use of drugs for medical reasons. okay, but then you have become the doctor of your own. You are directed how and when you should take it. So if the doctor is asking you to take paracetamol or tramadol for, say, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening, you choose to take it maybe 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the evening, or 2 in the morning. So when you do that consistently and repeatedly, the misuse now becomes abuse. So we have situations whereby drug of misuse end up become abuse.
At what point does it become abused, or we'll say that a person is addicted? At what point?
So that is when you take it repeatedly and excessively. And when it becomes addicted, it means that it is now, you are the one, the drug is now seeking for you. Initially, you go to get the drugs yourself. So addiction is a complex brain disease characterized by a person's inability, to control the use of drugs. So now it gets to a stage whereby you as a person, you are incapable of controlling how you use use these drugs, even though they've got their own side effect. And also there's this craving and relapses. So then, let me stop. I want to stop. Okay. Tomorrow, the next day, you go for it again, that kind of relapse. And there's that craving from you as a person. So then that leads to what is known as...
What's the Commission doing about it, beyond education and talking about it? What's the Commission doing about it?
Yeah, so we are offering what is known as treatment. So we give advice on treatment, rehabilitation, and social reintegration. So people who are into drugs and want to be helped, Narcotics Control Commission have a whole setup, which is the counseling setup, which is the department. They educate people, they counsel people on drugs, and then if there's a need for you to be referred to a rehabilitation center, they help you to do that. And also, now, I don't know whether the news is all over Narcotics Control Commission, so we are aware of places where people do these drugs, people who bring in drugs, and the last time I checked, last year, we made about 163 arrests, and it involves about 109 cases, which is, a bit higher than the previous year, 2024. So it means that a lot is being done. Currently, in this festive season, my people are all over. The surveillance department, the intelligence department are there. The operations are also ongoing, especially we are visiting places of interest. We are aware of them, venues where people abuse drugs, all in the name of we are going to party, having fun and things. So our people are all over. Apart from the preventions, we are going, as you've given me your platform, we do that in schools. The enforcement team is also all over trying to cater.
Abdul, this is a very important conversation. We'll let the festive season pass. After the season, we'll come back and take stock. You never know, the number that you have would have increased. But thank you for at least spending the few minutes with us. We'll pick up on this conversation. This was rather short than anticipated. Okay?
No problem. Thank you very much for giving us the platform. And also, we want to assure our public, everybody should be safe out there, especially people who are involved in commercial driving. People have traveled a lot for Christmas season and they are coming back. Please drive safely, do away with drugs. Whatever the situation is, you get to your destination. So you want to get to your destination at all costs, and with early time, you are taking drugs just to speed, you are taking drugs just to stay alert, to drive. All these things will not help. So that is the message I have for our viewers.
Well, thank you so much, Abdul. But thank you most importantly for starting your new year with us. A quick one, a happy birthday to Carolina Mwakua Tete. She is with our Adom Brands. Happy birthday to you. What a day to celebrate your birthday. I am MFA Kosi Adeti. Please stay for News Desk.